faded, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you say.
The first snack I'm going to be making are pumpkin pretzels. So you're going to need some pretzels, chocolate chips, M&Ms, and food coloring. You're just going to want to cut open your bag of white chocolate chips and put them in a microwave safe bowl. And of course, you guys guessed it, you're going to put it in the microwave to melt it. You can either do this on the stove or the microwave, but I like the microwave. So I'm just going to do this in intervals until it's nice and creamy. You guys probably know how to make orange with food coloring. You learned it in primary school, but it's 1 drop of red and 2 drops of orange. Orange, yellow. I guess I didn't learn. So now it's basically just like chocolate pretzels. I'm sure lots of you guys have made this before, so yeah. But you're just going to want to dip your pretzel in the chocolate, and the only thing different is now you're going to want to fill in the holes of the pretzel because you want it to look like a pumpkin. So I'm going to put it on the parchment paper. Always use parchment paper, by the way. And I'm just filling the holes of the pretzel so it kind of looks like a pumpkin. And don't worry if the outside looks ugly, because what you're going to be doing is taking it off the parchment paper and turning it to the other side where it's nice and smooth. Have as many as you'd like done, then just put it in the fridge for about 10 or so minutes. Once you're done with that, just flip them over, and as you can tell, they look pretty nice and smooth. They're not going to look perfect unless you are amazing. I'm not, so you know. So now I'm just going to take a green M&M and use that as a stem. So I'm just going to be putting that at the top of the pumpkin. And I like to do this after they're made because they slide in a lot easier and it kind of just like holds. That is the pumpkin pretzel. Now onto the spooky dipped apples. I really like these. You're going to need some skewers. I have toppings of your choice, and caramel. So I'm just going to be taking a handful of caramel, and you can get these anywhere, like the dollar store, doesn't matter. And I'm just going to be opening them up. This took me a really long time, so I'm not going to show you a lot of me opening them up because that's kind of boring. So now you're just going to melt them in the microwave or the stove or whatever you like to do. So while that's happening, I'm just going to be cutting up my apples into slices because these are like apple pop. That's all done, I'm just going to be breaking my skewers, and don't do it with your hands because it makes them look really ugly. So cut them in half, or you can get pre-made like small skewers, which I definitely recommend doing that because you have to be very careful with these because they just like fly all over the place. Then I'm just going to be putting my skewer into the apple. So once I've done that to all of them, I'm just going to be taking the caramel, and this is so hard to do, honestly, so I'm just using a knife, or a fork, not a knife, I'm using a fork, and I'm just kind of spreading it around the apple. I only showed me doing one because this took forever, so you guys probably can do it a lot better than me. But then I'm just going to be pressing in some sprinkles because I think it looks really cute, and that's the caramel apple ones. Now for the chocolate ones, and these are my favorites, so I'm just going to be taking some milk chocolate chips and doing the same thing, putting them in the microwave. So once they are all melted, I'm just going to be dipping in my apple. And taking the Halloween themed sprinkles, I'm just going to be putting that all over. And I definitely recommend putting it in a little cup. It's so much easier. That's it for the apples. I definitely recommend you guys trying the chocolate ones. They are amazing. Now for the candy corn pudding. You're just going to need some pudding mix and, of course, food coloring. So I'm just going to be opening the pudding mix I got from Hershey's. You need vanilla pudding mix, by the way. The instructions said to put 2 cups of milk, so that's what I'm doing. But I felt like 2 cups is a lot, so I just put 2 and 3/4. So then I'm just going to whisk that up and put them into 3 separate containers. And then I'm just going to put them in the fridge for 20 minutes. Add the food coloring, so I'm going to do yellow for the bottom of the candy corn, orange for the middle of the candy corn, and keep the last one white. I'm just going to take a little container, and a little cup, and I'm just gonna kind of make the colors of the candy corn. Sorry, my hand's in the way. It's super hard to do this, but you're gonna put yellow, orange, and then white. And I'm horrible at like arts and making things look pretty, so I'm sure you guys can do a way better job than me. So, you know. And then I'm just topping it off with some candy corn. And that is it. For the last one, creepy popcorn. This is my favorite. So I'm just going to be popping some popcorn and taking any toppings that you guys like. I'm just using what you can see right here. And also melt some chocolate and color it orange, and then you're just gonna mix that all up, and you have to make sure that you're not afraid of getting your hands a little bit dirty for this recipe. So I'm just gonna mix that all up and then add all my toppings, and this is so good. I just love it. So then of course you're gonna mix that up. Then you can just put it in any kind of jar you want. I just chose a mason jar, and I think it looks really cute, and it tastes really good as well. So that is the video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing Halloween.